Planning to stay in Japan for a few months? Or maybe you just arrived and need a place while hunting for a long-term apartment? Either way, short-term rentals could be your best option. Renting a long-term accommodation as a foreigner is already hard as it is, and you are not going to do it without a bank account, phone number, and a bunch of documents that prove that you are not going to break the sacred harmony. Getting a short-term rental is much easier. You just need money. And you can often do it from abroad. Hosts sometimes even speak English and are used to dealing with clueless foreigners. They are also furnished, and with utilities included in the rent. The only potential downside is if internet at your place sucks, there's not much you can do about it. And no, mobile hotspot is not the answer if you want any decent speeds. In general, it could be a great option to stay for a couple of months or even a year, get all your stuff sorted out and rent a long-term accommodation. There are a lot of options for short-term rentals, but fear not, I will quickly guide you through all of them and their pros and cons. Just a disclaimer before we proceed. I will be talking about finding short-term rentals in big cities. If you are going to live in the middle of rice fields, you better know what you are doing, or have someone there who knows what they are doing so they can tell you what you are doing wrong. Okay, let's start with the easiest and most universally despised by locals option, Airbnb. Pros. Availability. They have decent availability in big cities outside of peak seasons. If your stay falls on any major holiday, you might have a harder time securing a long-term stay. Ease of booking. 95% of time you will only have to endure bare minimum social interactions. Just write a couple of words about yourself and press the button. Just remember to be normal, okay? Budget option. If you want to feel extra miserable, you can get a room instead of a whole place. I would not do it with Airbnb, but you can. If you really just want a room, there are better options for this that we will cover later on. Legality. After a massive crackdown some years ago, all Airbnbs should be officially regulated. You can tell that your place is legit by presence of this sticker, usually next to the entry door. You don't need to look awkward and pretend that you're staying with your uncle for a week. Everybody already knows that you're a dirty foreigner and came to exploit the cheap yen. No hidden fees. Everything is upfront. Well, mostly. Some landlords might still try to impose some fees on you, but it's way less common with Airbnbs. Now, the cons. Price. Depending on where you're from, the prices might not look too bad, but trust me, Airbnbs are overpriced. When I switch to Yanjamins, I start getting heart palpitations and sob uncontrollably. Next, quality. This is not really a con, but you pay for what you get. As a rule, on a cheaper side, you can expect tiny apartment furnished with cheapest possible furniture, which is perfect if you want to make a bunch of OMG, look at this tiny apartment videos. No viewings. It's the obvious one, arranging a viewing of Airbnb before booking is not really a thing. This is not issue with all other options though. Last-minute cancellations. Airbnb is infamous for this. I would assume that because of the culture, it's a bit less likely in Japan, but you never know. This is not something you want to deal with right after getting into the new country. Neighbors. Neighbors will hate you and they will give you a stink eye. This can be helped. Nobody likes to live next to a noisy Airbnb. Try to be as low-key as possible and this will make everyone's lives a little bit better. And the last one is your host. Depending on the owner of Airbnb, you can have bad or good experience. Oftentimes that experience will be hilarious and through Google Translate. To sum it up, Airbnb might be a decent option for a lot of people. Not the cheapest, but easy to book and deal with. Let's move to the next option. Foreigner-friendly monthly rentals. Very similar to Airbnb, but with some important differences. There are plenty of companies that offer them like Sakura House, Union Monthly, Fontana or Blue Palace. Pros. Price. Usually you will get a cheaper price than Airbnb. You can find something basic for 100–150k. Professional management. Those apartments are run by companies, meaning that they will have a staffed office that you can go into and complain about your upstairs neighbors. Less problems with locals. Most of the time the units around you will be rentals just like yours, so you will have less opportunity to annoy locals. Now, the cons. Fees. You might encounter a deposit or some extra fees for early lease termination, cleaning, or sometimes even for the bedding rental. Those fees are not always obvious, so make sure you read the contract carefully. Quality. Quality of accommodations might not be the best. Adjust your expectations accordingly. Apart from this, as I mentioned, you will get a sort of similar experience to Airbnb. Now, the next option is the top tier of short-term rentals. Serviced apartments. Swanky places with hotel level of service and amenities. This luxury is not aimed at dirty peasants like me, but rather at a high level people who can fly their overweight pug on a private jet to Japan. Pros. Service quality. You will be paying tons of money to Soulless Corporation, so the experience will probably be pretty good without any major surprises. Amenities. Depending on the location, you might have access to the gym, breakfast, housekeeping, 24-hour English-speaking front desk, and even a freaking doctor on call. Quality. Overall, the quality of the apartments will be better, including better furnishings and appliances. Pets. That chunky pug have to live somewhere, and serviced apartments do often allow pets, which is pretty rare. Cons. Well, there's only one. Price. On average, the price starts at around 300k for a smallest place, and it can go all the way up into the stratosphere, plus you probably will encounter a variety of fees. And this is it. If you have money to burn and want a predictable, mostly positive experience, you should definitely go with serviced apartments. Now, the fun option. Share house, also known as guest house or gaijin house. Exciting, fresh off the boat in Japan experience. Share houses come in a variety of shapes. Bunk bed in a room with 10 other randos, shared room for 2-3 people, or a small private room. Amenities like kitchen, shower and toilet are usually shared. There are tons of small and big share houses, and companies that offer monthly rentals often manage share houses as well. Now let's go over the pros. Price. They can be quite cheap. If you are willing to share a room, you can find a decent place for 50k and private room for about 80k. There are cheaper options, but they are either hard to snatch or there are some other fees involved. Communal space. There's usually a decently sized living room where people hang out, unless you're living in a house with a bunch of socially awkward people, and if so, you will get a living room all to yourself. Know that you will not be able to experience this luxury while living in that 200 square feet private apartment. People. You can meet a lot of cool people, local and foreign alike. Being in a foreign country all by yourself can be tough, so having around folks who share similar experience as you can be quite nice. Cons. People. People suck. They can be weird, too friendly, crazy, in a cult, or all of those things together. Sometimes they don't clean after themselves, they stink up the toilet and leave a mess in the kitchen. People. Quality. There are definitely some newer share houses, but they're a bit more rare and expensive. Majority of places on the cheaper side will be in older buildings with outdated furniture, appliances and amenities. Speaking of amenities, shared amenities. Having to share amenities is not optimal, to say the least. You can't just take a shower or cook a dinner whenever, and God forbid you ate whatever the hell is this and need to use the toilet when someone is there. To sum it up, if you are young and like people, I would definitely recommend this option for your first stay in Japan. And the last option, social apartments or social residences as they are also called. I wasn't sure if I should include this one because there's only 2 major companies offering them. First one is socialapartments.com, which operates in a sort of similar way to regular Japanese rentals, with screenings, guarantor companies and of course a bunch of fees. Another one is Oak House, which appears to be way more foreigner-friendly. Both of them offer very interesting accommodation and they're still easier to get into compared to regular long-term rentals, so I decided to include them. So, what is social apartment? In short, it's a fancy hipster version of a share house. Bigger, newer buildings, better amenities, social events and more people to make your life miserable. What's good about them? Quality of rooms. They're newer, nicer and contain 80% less asbestos compared to regular share houses. Modern amenities. Someone actually thought about design of those places. They look pretty and depending on the building you can have great facilities, like lounge, workspace, big kitchen, movie room and sometimes even your own cafe on premises. Social aspect. This is the main selling point of social apartments, as you can probably tell from the name. There are parties, events, workshops, all the fun stuff. Professional management. Again, you will probably get a decent experience without major surprises. Number of people living there. Some of those social apartments are big, and they have hundreds of rooms. Ratio of foreigners to Japanese varies by the building, but there are always a lot of people to meet. Cons. Noise. All the social activities and parties in common areas can be loud, so do be prepared for that. Social dynamics. Because more people live in social apartments, there can be all kind of drama, gossip, stalkers. Obviously, it's not a con if this is your thing. Now, the following cons mostly apply to socialapartments.com, and I think it's important to mention this, since they are the biggest operator of social apartments. They have a lot of cool properties, but they also have fees. They follow a typical Japanese rental model and require a lot of fees up front. The rent itself is not really much different than share house. Guarantor requirement. They require you to use a guarantor company, which also costs money. Minimum stay requirements. Some places require that you will stay for at least 3 or 6 months. Rent is also cheaper if you opt for longer stay. Furnishing. A lot of rooms are unfurnished, which is more common with long-term rentals. In general, renting from socialapartments.com might be a bit easier if you are already a little bit established in Japan. And this is it. Ultimately, your choice of accommodation will depend on your budget and what kind of environment you like. There are plenty of options if you Google the specific accommodation type plus your city. Take your time picking the one you like the most and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Have a good one and thanks for watching.